What's up, guys? It's MB Boxing, and today I'm finally going to be releasing my picks for fight and knockout of the year for boxing in 2021. And to get straight into the video, so first I'm going to be listing who I picked or what fights I picked for the boxing knockout and boxing fight of the month. For each month of the year in 2021, going through January, February, March, April, etc. So, as most of you guys know, if you've been following my channel for a while, for each month I post a knockout and a fight of the month. So, I'm just going to be listing that off as I mentioned before, and that will lead to me picking my official knockout and fight of the year. So, to get straight into it, for January, I did pick Michael Coffey knocking out Darmani Rock for the knockout of the month. For fight of the month, I picked Angelo Leo versus Stephen Fulton. For February, my knockout of the month pick was Miguel Berchelt getting absolutely destroyed by Oscar Valdez. And my fight of the month pick was Josh Warrington losing to Mauricio Lara, but it was a pretty good fight. And for March, my pick for knockout of the month was Sergey Boachuk getting knocked out by Brandon Adams. However, my main pick was Brandon Lee destroying Samuel Tia, but I wasn't able to post the video because of copyright and such. But yeah, so my official pick would be Boachuk versus Adams. But for fight of the month, my pick was for March Juan Francisco Estrada versus Chocolatito Gonzalez 2. That was an excellent fight, one of the best ones of 2021. And my pick for April, for knockout, I did pick Efe Ajagba destroying Brian Howard. And for fight, I did pick German Cajas defeating Jonathan Rodriguez by unanimous decision. And it was a very fun and eventful fight to watch. Very good fight. And for May, for knockout of the month, I picked Joshua Buatsi absolutely destroying Daniel Dos Santos. That was a brutal knockout there. And my pick for fight of the month was Jose Carlos Ramirez versus Josh Taylor for the undisputed world titles. And for June, my pick for knockout of the month was Bektimir Melikuziev getting flattened out on his face by Gabriel Rosado. And my pick for fight of the month, this was a banger, even though many people did not watch it. It was Efe Tobera Pochi versus Brandon Glanton. That was a very good fight on PBC, and between two undefeated cruiserweights, and Glanton did come out on top. And for July, my pick for knockout of the month was Michel Rivera knocking out John Fernandez. However, my pick for fight of the month was Tommy McCarthy versus Chris Billum-Smith. However, in August, my pick for fight and knockout of the month was Mark Magsayo versus Julio Ceja. That was a great fight, back and forth action, trading knockdowns, and it ended in a tremendous knockout for Magsayo. And now Magsayo is a world champion as he became one in January of 2022. And now to go to September, although many people might be debatable or might debate this pick, my pick for a knockout of the month, this was a brutal knockout, even though it was between two fighters who aren't really main boxers, but it was Anderson Silva brutally flattening and knocking Tito Ortiz out cold. And my pick for fight of the month, was Anthony Joshua versus Alexander Usyk. That was a very solid fight. And to go into October, as many people were expecting, my pick for knockout and fight of the month was Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder 3. Like many other people did pick, it was an excellent fight. And now going into November, my pick for knockout of the month. This one was a very good knockout and a very good upset as well. One of my favorite upsets of 2021. It was Kid Galahad getting flattened and losing his world title to Kiko Martinez. And my pick for fight of the month, this was an excellent fight and an excellent upset as well. And my pick for upset of the year, it was Teofimo Lopez losing to George Kambosos Jr. in an excellent fight by split decision. And now going into the final month, it is December, and my pick for knockout of the month for December was Tyron Woodley getting flattened by Jake Paul. And I know that you might be sort of debatable with this pick. You might think, oh, these aren't real boxers, but I mean, that doesn't matter. I mean, that was a brutal knockout, and it's my pick for knockout of the month. But as for the fight of the month, this was a very solid fight, and there was a lot of knockdowns. Even though, in my opinion, it was sort of one-sided, my pick was still Joseph Parker versus Derek Chisora 2. Very fun fight, as I mentioned before. So that is really it for my picks for each month. And really to delve into some main picks, I mean, some of these great knockouts could be Kid Galahad versus Kiko Martinez. Definitely Miguel Berchelt versus Oscar Valdez. Some more may even include F.A. Jagba's knockout over Brian Howard, and Buatsi versus Dos Santos, and even Malcuzia versus Rosado. Those are really the main solid knockout set I was really debating between, but my official pick for knockout of the year for 2021 is Oscar Valdez flattening Miguel Berchelt. And just to break down that knockout, Valdez was ahead heavily in the fight. It was also another upset, one of my candidates for upset of the year and my sort of honorable mentions picks. It was a very brutal knockout. Berchelt went in swinging, missed 2 hooks, and then Valdez sort of ducked down, went back, and then landed a perfectly placed overhand right, I believe it was, right to the chin of Berchelt. Berchelt went down face first, flat on the canvas, knocked out cold, brutal knockout. And now to talk about some of the main fights of the month, that would include Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder 3, even Teofimo Lopez versus George Kambosos Jr., and even Juan Francisco Estrada versus Chocolatito Gonzalez 2, and an underrated one was definitely German Cajas versus Jonathan Rodriguez. But to list my pick for Fight of the Year of 2021, it is Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder 3. So some reasons why I did pick this fight as my fight of the year is because, I mean, these guys had a long brewing rivalry, and the fight was just excellent. They traded multiple knockdowns. It was all action in every single round. Although Wilder looked sort of dead at the end of the fight, was sort of not really throwing many punches, still, Tyson Fury, or Wilder was still able to stand up and still throw some punches, and he was actually able to hurt Fury a couple times later on. But still, Tyson Fury got dropped twice. In round 4, Deontay Wilder got dropped, I believe, in the 3rd round. And then Wilder ultimately got finished off in I think it was the 11th. And I can't really remember what exact round Wilder also got dropped in. I think it might have been the 9th. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But, it was an all-out war. Multiple knockdowns traded. Tremendous fight. Just a really good action between 2 very, very good heavyweights. And that was my pick for Fight of the Year for 2021. So drop down in the comments below your pick for Fight of the Year and Knockout of the Year. And if you agree with mine, and if you agree with some of the picks I made for Knockout and Fight of the Month for each month. So overall, my pick for Knockout of the Year was Miguel Berchelt getting knocked out by Oscar Valdez. And my pick for Fight of the Year was Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury 3. And that's really it. I'm MB Boxing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.